All right, Wesley, buddy. All right, so we just got out of the dentist, and they messed with your mouth with a metal in your mouth. Okay, show me. Yep, I see what they did right there. Yep. All right. Hey, Wesley, you ready for the next call?
Yep.
No cooling. No cooling call. That's all we know. No cooling. So we're gonna grab a quick bite to eat, and then for fuel, and then head on out to the service call. Wesley got his metal bracket thing fixed, replaced the wire, and I'm ready to go. Let's go and see if we can impact somebody's life, do what's right, help somebody out. I believe this call too, if Jackie's told me correctly, if I remember correctly, is that there have been a couple other companies out to this one too. And generally that's what it is. You know, we see that a lot where multiple companies have come out, you know, so ultimately we're gonna go through it, diagnose it, and give it to them plain. Write it down on paper. These are your options. This is what you need to do. And that's the right way to do things as a technician. So that's what we're going to do. So come along with us. All right, Wesley, what do we got here? We have French fries. So we went to Chick-fil-A. Here is what I recommend, the market salad. And I can't open it with one hand, but it's right there. And I also recommend a thing of fries. So that way you can even out the healthiness of it. And then the styrofoam tea. Now, I'm not a big proponent for Chick-fil-A. You know, I'm a case-by-case type guy, but the food itself is ready to go with a little bit of ranch on there. Come on. You ready, Wes, to eat this? You ready?
Air Force Base. Wesley, that's the end of the road work. He's changing the tire. He's changing the tire. $75 miles an hour. We're only going
Alright, so inside units here. So the complaint is from me is that it's 150 degrees. Light switch, I don't see one, but the unit kicks on and off, and it's an old R22 unit. So let's just, oh man, watch your step, Wes. Told you.
Yeah, let's not do the install today.
Nope, we're not doing any installs today. This is an early morning thing. All right, so here's our inside unit. We've got a gas furnace, which we could tell from the outside. So I would look for a float switch right off the bat, and I don't see one. So the unit's calling right now from the thermostat. So we're gonna just wiggle some things around and see if that outside unit kicks on. There it went. So just wiggling. You hear that? So the unit kicked on by wiggling. All right, let's take off these. 1/4 inch. Yeah, so process of elimination, right? Like just think the obvious, loose wires, right? Something's kicking on and off, but the thermostat is steadily calling for cooling and it's not hitting temp. Oh yeah, this is the window. So we wiggle. So yeah, that's nope. So they bypassed the door switch, which you're not supposed to do that. So they bypassed it, just wired the power straight, but I wiggled these wires here. Man, this is clear. That's a hot wire right there. Let's just hold that like that. There. Yeah, I feel like we need to shut the power off. We need to shut the power off. So I'm looking at this. This is flagging me right here. That wire right there is flagging me. Take a look at it. Okay. Well, that's alright, but it's a tight connection, but that's not right. You know, that should be secured. Alright, so now these are the wires I moved. Okay. Okay, and you can see that. So look in here. You see that terminal right there? The terminal, all the terminals here, it's called a terminal connection. Look how it wiggles from the control board. That's why the unit's kicking on and off. Okay? All right, so back it up. We're gonna turn this on. Kicks on right away. Now we're going to get model and serial number from the furnace. It's just going to be model and serial number right here. Needs a door switch. and then needs a new control board. There it is right there. So look, I'm gonna make it do it right now, what it was doing. See that? I'm pulling on the actual board. So Wesley, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna get some wire ties, and I'm gonna bundle all the wires together to bind them to keep pressure on that control board to see if it'll run for them until we can get the parts to replace it. So that's what we're gonna do right now, and then see if it'll stay running for us, and then we'll check the refrigerant levels outside. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna zip tie it. I don't know if you can see me. We're gonna zip tie this bundle of wires together here. Yep. That way it's at an angle on the plugs on that control board. So next, what we're going to do, make sure we get the right, can you see me on that? To get the right control board, we need to look at our furnace, gas furnace heating, right? So what kind of safeties? Does it have a flame sensor? What type of igniter? So we've got a hot surface igniter right back there. Okay, and then we have a flame sensor right there. Ooh, it's hot. That's good. Okay. So let's go. So we know that this unit is R22. Got a lot of different things happening here. As you can see, I've got my independent gauge here. Right here, R22. We're at about 70, and the green number is 35. So we're about 35 degrees saturation temperature, and the line temperature, that same line, says it's 94 degrees. I want to make sure. That seems pretty high. So I'm going to take this, which is this temperature here, and we're going to match that up to make sure my meter is giving me the right temperature. It might be. It's so hot right now. At 94 degrees, 93 feels cold. Okay, so that's why you can't always just gauge your senses as far as touch on temperature. You need, man, 100 degree day with 100% humidity. You know, 90 degrees, something blowing 80, 90 degrees is cold. So we need to get the exact measurements of everything. So it says it's 90 degrees here, 94 and dropping on this one. So I would say 90 is a safe bet. So 90 minus 35, what is that? 55? So our superheat is 55 degrees, and that's a piston inside. So more than likely it's low on refrigerant also. Head pressure's at 252. Just to say we're doing it. Our subcooling is dropping. Remember, we want a level of subcooling. Sometimes you can put your hand on the high side line, which is your liquid. You can feel for the burst, the bubbles. And that'll tell you you're not 100% liquid here. And I also can tell you it's not subcooling well, because the subcooling is low. It's an old unit. Man, it's probably a 9 SEER, 10 SEER. Very low in efficiency. So a system like this, I'm going to recommend replacing. They've had people come out and do the same thing I've done. But I don't think they noticed that the control board was acting up. So that's just something else that we're going to bring to the table. You know, I don't have, unfortunately, R22. Let's wash off this coil and see if we can at least get that temperature to drop a little bit. So Wesley, what are you doing?
Cleaning out the coil.
Cleaning out the coil? Why? To clean it?
To clean it.
Yeah, awesome. So yeah, we're gonna try to bring down that temperature a little bit. Maybe give it a little more subcooling to make that into more of a liquid refrigerant going in to that indoor coil, and that's what we want. We want liquid. Man, we want at least 80, 20. Actually, no, we want 100% here. And when it hits that metering device, we want that pressure drop just enough to where we got 80-20 in that coil. So that way we can start evaporating, removing moisture, all that good stuff. Dew point hits, coil's cold, get cold air going inside. Wesley, what are you doing?
Cleaning the coil.
Why?
Because it's dirty.
That's awesome. All right, so this is not a practice that says, okay, black and white, coil's leaking, but it'll give you an idea to go inside 150-degree attic again. So this coming out of the house is the overflow for the hot water heater. I'm using my meter right underneath it. Nothing. Very carefully, because water's coming out of here. We don't want to touch the water, the sensor, but listen. A pretty brave move. You just got to be very careful not to get water on it. All right, so we washed off the coil, try to give it a little extra superheat or subcool of that refrigerant to see if we could get more of a liquid going in this high side line. And we did that, and there is no temperature change on our coil. So yeah, we have crazy superheat right now because pressure's low. It needs refrigerant. we're gonna go inside and do a quick leak search. We found something coming off of the drainage, coming from that coil, but let's go inside. Watch out. Huh? Recalibrate. Possibly. Maybe? Yeah. Clicking not cool good. All right, Wesley. Coil's leaking. It's obvious. We don't need to go any further. We've got a, I don't know how old this thing is, but we're good. Flip the power on. All right. Let's see what you got, man. Oh, look at that. Red breast? Orange spotted. Look at the colors. Let's see if we can get those colors. Wow. You're a beautiful little buddy. Or the tree? Oh, yeah. What'd you call that fish again? Orange spotted. Sunfish. You can see the minnows down there. Definitely healthy creek. What's the name of this creek again, son? Little Cypress? Hey, look over here. It's a good spot here. dragonflies flying around. So a lure that looks like a dragonfly would probably be good, right? So in my truck, we only keep the one little lure on my rod and reel and one rod and reel. So what we got is what we got. There's something following it. Carson. All right, so there it is. We didn't fix the problem, but we did diagnose it, and we caught something that the other guys couldn't catch. And that's a tricky one for most people. Okay, so luckily that the past two coils that have had these intermittent issues, man, it's doing it when I'm there. You know, and that's the hardest part for a service guy is we don't ever know half the time what it is because it's not doing it when we're there. It's kind of like taking a car to the mechanic, you know, there, and then it runs perfect right when you start driving it in and they can't find it. But so this particular house, you know, a good diagnostic is half the battle. Okay, so that's half the battle right there. And so we've got a house that has a control board issue. Yes, we could take the control board out, we could get behind it, and we can solder those pieces. But not only was the low voltage terminal block loose, but so was the main 9-pin adapter on that control board, and you saw that. So yeah, you need to replace the board, right? What do you got? Look at that. What Wesley just got. A warmouth. Look at his eyes. Look at that in the creek. Good job, son. That's beautiful. So, look, come on. It's low on refrigerant. Old refrigerant, R22. I think we got it to where at least it'll run for, it won't cut in and out. Well, also, did you notice the door switch? The door switch was bypassed. You see it all the time. Or you'll see tape left on it because somebody was trying to run it with the door open. And they used a small wire, a really thin gauge wire to connect the high voltage to bypass the door switch. Can't do that, you know, it's just not good practice to do that. But anyways, so, you know, there's certain things that we can do, and it's okay to get people by for whatever reason, but if it's safety, we got to be really careful. So with that said, now we just submit all of this to the real estate company because these are tenants. We submit it to them, and then we go from there, recommending a control board, door switch, and condensing unit and coil, indoor coil replacement. That'll make that thing brand new, ready to go. It'll have the old furnace, but it's all right. That furnace will be good. So, hey, God bless you. Like and subscribe if you haven't already.